Yeah.
Screw it up.
If we decided to blame it on you if it is.
That's right, you were on the phone.
Yeah, you were on the phone, so it's weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
You were
designated
nominated.
as. All right, we are on the clock, so I will call this meeting to order, DeKalb County Commissioners, and the date is February 13th, 2023. First thing, let's jump in with this sewer deal, since we got Larry here. And I propose a worst-case scenario from Auburn Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, $13,500. And I talked to Ben Parker, if we haul the dirt out and haul the stone back in, that'd probably save us a couple thousand. And this cut is going to be 6 foot wide, going out to the middle of the street, and then probably a 10 by 10 cut out there over the sewer tap. And they said the possibility they may have to replace part of that main sewer line where that tap's at. Doesn't know till they get in there. The city will decide that.
Yeah.
That'd be another couple $100 if they have to do that. Anyway, it's got to be dug out, the dirt hauled away, compactable, limestone put back in, all packed in layer by layer. It's kind of a process.
Yeah.
Because of the street settling in. It's 10 foot deep. It is 10 foot deep.
Is that why you have to cut so wide too, so it doesn't cave
Yeah,
in? Is that
you
the
gotta have
idea?
room and a little bit of back cut, so in case of, otherwise I put a box in.
Is that how it works?
Well, yes, it's normally wood, but kind of hard to get a box in that cut.
Okay.
Only 10 foot long. Most boxes are 20.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so. But anyway, and so that's the deal on that. He's given us a worst case scenario, 13.5.
And when I talked to him, he said it would be 2 to 3 weeks before he could get to it. And he also said it'd be nice if we had decent weather, wasn't raining and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
One
anyway,
thing,
I
that I
don't know
put
if-
in the cold mix back into that until the asphalt plant's open, and then they tear that out, put hot mix back in.
and the curb part that they tear out, they have to have it re-poured back in.
Yeah,
So I think he was talking to Cease, but I'm not,
yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He talked to Cease. Question
So-
is, I guess at this point, do we want to go ahead and approve this or wait until we get another quote? And the only thing, we don't have a meeting next week.
We just approve an amount and then.
Yeah, we could do
Hear
a
the
not, we could do a not to exceed. and-
Yeah, not to exceed, and then whoever we choose, we can just call each other and just say,
Okay,
if you want, I can be the contact person.
Yeah.
He can
Yeah.
come to me and give me a quote for the second.
and you
And
can
then-
give him the details
Yeah.
better than,
And then I can contact you guys and you let me know which way you want to go. In my mind, the sooner the better, really.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is what
Well-
I'm thinking.
that's why I'm wondering if Berkey and not excavation could get on this in a day or two, early next week and knock it out. And if they're less price,
He'd be using not,
it would be Berkey and not tied together
Yeah.
when doing it probably.
yeah.
Is that all right, or is?
No, that's fine. I don't know if,
How many drain projects have we got not working on?
yeah, yeah. We've got him pretty well lined up.
Mike's got him by the ear that he can pull him over there and say, here, help me with this. But what I would suggest is we say not to exceed 13.5 and let Larry be the deciding factor who we use. If he
Okay.
wants to get back with it, that's fine, but
Yeah, if you got questions, otherwise.
otherwise just say,
make the
hey, we're
decision.
going with Auburn, or we're going with not, or whoever. Just do it, I would say.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
What do you think,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Bill?
yeah, that's fine, I want to give everybody a fair chance, is the main
Yeah.
thing. I talked to Ben, and he come up with a solution. He said he would pay that out of the lighted money that we give to the highway operations.
Okay.
So that would come out of
No,
that.
of that allocation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So that kind of cleans that up as far
And I
as,
will let Berkey know that when I meet with him,
Some highway will do
All
the
the-
stone and dirt. away.
whatever,
I pay for that stone. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take care of that.
Okay.
Okay, motion?
I'd make a motion that we approve the repair of the sewer not to exceed 13.5, with Larry determining who we use once we get the quotes.
I'll second that.
Motion and second, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion carries. Okay,
is that it, why I'm here?
nope, that's not it.
Oh,
I got one more thing.
okay.
Bird told me that just finished your 20-year.
Yes, I did.
Is that so?
Thank you.
I wanted to give you a $20,000 check, but they wanted to give you that, so.
Yeah, we figured you'd like the certificate. Stand up there with Bill and I'll get a picture of that. Bill, get it, yeah. Get in there, Bill, a little closer. There you go.
He won't bite you.
There we go.
Thank you. I hope. I would like to. I love what I do and I enjoy my job.
He's always on top of every game.
Yep, thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
Putting up with all of us all those years.
Yeah,
A little bit.
Just
thank
think,
you,
Andrew,
Larry.
Yeah, thank you.
See ya.
just think, Andrew, 19 years and 10 months, and you get one.
All right.
Between the two of them.
Oh,
That's right. That's right.
did you hear that, Andrew?
What?
19 years and 10 months, you get one of those.
I was thinking about that. I'm on the lower end of that there. So.
We can
I
put-
may not be around to actually do but,
Who knows?
We can put your name up there on small letters too. Say Darrell D. Cruz and just put little.
Oh man. It's a few years down the road.
Yeah.
Let me get dialed in here. Okay, moving on. Dottie, what you got?
Oh, well, let's see. Let's talk about some things that you guys I need you to sign to get the self-insurance thing rolling. Apex needs you to sign some letters to our vendors to let them know that they are now our broker of record. And so we're having Anthem, of course, and since Anthem takes care of our medical, dental, and vision, that will cover that. The other one is for One America. One America is the company with whom we have our short-term, long-term, and life, accidental death, and dismemberment, and then also our EAP, Employee Assistance Program. They are huge in the government arena when it comes to these types of insurances. And we've now had them for 3 years. Things go along pretty well. I'm pretty sure that we will stay with them, but we needed to formalize that. We never changed from A.J. Gallagher, who put us with them. So we want to firm that up. So those are the two letters that we need you to sign to take care of that. And then we also have a Rex asked if you would please formalize with a letter regarding the change in brokerage. So that's the other one that I have for you. And then let's talk about some hiring that we have or not going on. We're recruiting a lot. We have merit deputies that we're needing and confinement officers. And I will tell you, this week, I do believe we have 2 onboardings for confinement officers. Yay, knock wood, goes well. And then the health department, we are continuing to look for an RN and have also a need for the third health inspector. With Larry just being here, and, we talked a few weeks ago about a succession plan for him. Historically, unless you were in a department that had an elected official as the department head, where the department head would kind of, my first deputy, that'll be the one who will run, and sort of a succession plan after that person's term is over. Not so much with our appointed or hired department heads. So, we're working on Larry's. We have been working for the last year on our systems department. Not really much of a succession plan in there, since we have 3 who will be retiring, in the next year and a half. But we're working on that one. The health department is another department that we need to think about. We have really 2 nurses who are still like what they're doing, but you never know. Retirement may be down the road for them. And then when it comes to our the inspectors, we have 2 inspectors who have been here a good long time. They are liking what they do, but perhaps they are of a certain maturity level that they are starting to think about retirement. So, we need that succession plan in place. And so looking at, that health inspector, we thought we had that kind of in place with the previous person who just left us, but now we have to start from scratch. So, a little frustrating there, but, we'll work through it. Thank goodness you have a department head over there who has a positive attitude. It'll be whatever it is, and we'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. Gotta love that. So, Change Academy still, or, Department of, or Community Corrections, still has that facilitator, and just last week they presented me with the information to change the requirements for that 30 hours, but that has to go through the subcommittee. And subcommittee asked me to go ahead and send that down to our consultants, Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy, so it's on the road so that they can get going. They continue to have people to apply, but not quite qualified. Just about, maybe they're there, but not quite. Right. The other thing, interviews are being done over in the probation department for the probation officer assistant. And they had quite a few very qualified people for that position. So I think that's going to be a tough one for them to narrow it down and, find just the right person for that. That position. So we have that going on. Next thing, the not on hiring, but the Boston Mutual, that life insurance company that we have voluntary, we chose to do open enrollment, or for the rep to come in and service the current policyholders and meet with any employees who would like to in May. Originally, kind of our open enrollment for any of these things has been June, but with us changing to self-insurance, and that might mean more educational meetings with our employees, I kind of wanted to stay away from June, and so we bumped that up to May. So we'll do those in May, and the rep is just very happy to come in and talk to people whenever we could get it arranged. So he's going to take care of a lot of things on the backside to get that going and get us some marketing materials, quote unquote, to get out to our employees and take care of that. And then on the kind of, let me take the HR hat off and let me put the safety hat on. We canceled all of the, most of the first aid kits. The one at the highway department, those guys like it. So they've had a relationship with Cintas for quite some time. So they kept that. They like the program they have, kind of all goes with their uniforms and everything. keep that. But all the other departments, we canceled service with Cintas. And so what that means is that we didn't have any contracts to sign or unsign, so that worked out well. We own the boxes and the inventory that's in there. Now, through the safety committee, we have a system set up so that we have a person in every building that has one of these first aid kits, and that person is going to inventory the supplies, and the auditor's office is working on some sort of a centralized purchasing program whereby the person who is inventorying the items would then say requisition, we need 2 boxes of, first aid kits, or, Band-Aids, something like that. And then they can just order it through Amazon or whomever and get them in. So that's what's happening with the first aid kits. The other thing is AEDs. It was a question in the department heads meeting, hey, where are all the AEDs? And so I actually did an audit, and I looked at what we had in the safety manual, and I had to increase the number of AEDs that are listed in the safety manual, which eventually, there will be a revision at some point in time. But for right now, sent out a message to all department heads, letting them know where the locations of all the AEDs. And one thing that we're missing is that Sunny Meadows doesn't have an AED. And I suggested to Angela that somehow maybe she find some money somewhere, or I think there's some ARPA funds, or maybe, that's her realm, where maybe she could find it. And since we haven't historically, as far as we know, it's like, why not? Yeah, it's not just for employees, because if that were the case, sorry, citizen who comes into the courthouse and has a coronary issue, we have an AED, but that's only for our employees. And so, our residents out there at Sunny Meadows, you never know. That's the whole idea. So,
Dottie, if I could add on
Yes.
that one. The DeKalb County Heart Association, I know, has gotten those for like township fire departments occasionally, as like they'd give a grant so that they could get extra machines like that or get an extra one. So I would suggest that's somebody that she could reach out to that
Thank
might
you.
fit the DeKalb County Heart Association zone of getting one of those in. I don't know for sure, but
hey, it's if you don't ask, you don't get.
That's right.
Remember my philosophy. So anyway, and then it is, Larry has, volunteered. I asked if his department would be willing to, once a month, check all of the AEDs, because they are in every building to, sometime during the month, and we'll have some sort of a check, that, okay, in January it was checked, initials, the date, boom, we're done. And I think that way we'll keep those up to date. And Jason Meek thought that was a good system for us. So we'll take care of that. Then in order to, like I've always said, the AEDs are sort of idiot-proof. It talks you through what you need to do. It tells you if you don't need to do it. Also, you put on the sensors, and it will tell you, don't shock the person.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that kind of goes along with the CPR training. And I'm working on getting those sessions set up for the rest of our employees. Central already had theirs done, and I have Brian checking to see when his 2 employees who are certified to do those trainings are eligible, available, and we'll see about a room and see about the employees who want to volunteer to take that and to recertify. We have a few people who are already on the intranet site listed as certified CPR, to be able to do CPR, but I think all of us probably need recertified. It's been 3 years. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on in my neck of the woods. You guys have anything for me?
Anything for Dottie? Anyone? Wow.
Okay. Wow. Finish at 10 till.
Yes.
Keep going.
Surely
Go to
there's
breakfast instead of lunch.
Right.
Right. Those certificates, have those been distributed to the department heads?
There were some department heads who asked if a commissioner would do them, and Mike volunteered to take care of those for those departments who wanted them. Other department heads wanted to do them themselves.
Oh, okay.
And so I still have a couple departments that I'm waiting to hear back from. And so it was, I actually had department heads who thanked me for asking them. Which would you prefer? I said, what would it mean more coming from, department head who works with them or county commissioner as, the higher authority, whatever. And they appreciated just being asked.
How about that?
Yeah, I know. So, yep. So we'll get those out and about. And hopefully we can work on maybe a better system this year, that it won't at the, all gathered up at the end of the year, maybe once a month instead. Kind of, how do you eat an
Right.
elephant? One bite at a time?
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I think that'd be a good idea, probably.
sure, yeah. And maybe a little more immediate,
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it's a lag time with
A little bit,
little,
but
yeah,
yeah. But as you could tell from Larry, he was still touched.
yeah, right, right. So, good deal. Well, thanks, Dottie.
You're welcome.
Bill has to sign them, I think.
Do we all sign?
No, it looks like just
Just
Bill.
Bill, yeah.
Yeah.
Sign all three, Bill. Yeah.
Need motions? Need to do them separately, I assume? Okay.
Need a
First one
motion
is-
for you to sign that? You need a motion for you?
Yeah.
I'd make a
First one
mo-
is Anthem.
I'd make a motion that we sign all three documents relating to transfer of agent of record for DeKalb County health insurance.
Does that work?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Got that? Second? Oh, okay. Got a motion second. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. I will sign.
Whew. Want to try to get Ben in here earlier?
Oh,
Don't have anything at 9:30.
he's available, I guess, we could.
We shoot him a text? I'll shoot him a text. He wants to be with us anyway, don't he?
Okay. Anything else you need sooner than later? Okay. Okay, let's bring Michelle up then, and what you got for us today?
Good morning.
Morning.
So I'm here today for approval of the Community Corrections Annual Report, the 2022 performance measures data that we have to turn in, basically letting the Department of Corrections know if we've been able to complete goals that we turned it into them with our 2022 grant application, as well as approval of the performance measure goals that we plan to turn in for 2023. So I had sent all that over, hopefully to be distributed to you beforehand, so you had a chance to look at it. So I guess any questions you have, or if you'd like me to just briefly summarize some of the things in the annual report, whichever you'd like.
Just give us a brief summary.
Okay.
while you're here.
So we talked about all of these things in the advisory board meeting on Friday. One of the things that I wanted to point out in the annual report was just the success rate for our different levels of supervision. It's, in my opinion, as somebody in the criminal justice system, very high. We don't often see these kinds of success rates for people going through the program. So when I was completing the report, I was pleasantly surprised by how many people actually complete successfully. So that was one thing that I like to point out. Another one was somewhere around, I'll just tell you what page because that'll be easier. On pages 10 and 11, there's kind of a summary of the year. One of the things that I thought was very interesting was that we had a much lower positivity rate on drug screening. So in 2021, there was a positivity rate of 15%. So 15% of the drug screens that we took for participants came back positive for some kind of substance. In 2022, it went down to 7.7, so half. Yeah, we were pleasantly surprised by that. It's a good thing. I think it shows a lot of the hard work and the changes that we're making and where we're focusing more energy now versus maybe where it's been in the past. So right under that, there's a chart just talking about our release types from electronic monitoring and showing we had 172 successful completions. We had one person abscond, so basically he cut his anklet off and just left. So I believe they're still looking for him, actually. And then we had 20 terminations, so people that we found either had broken a serious enough rule that it was time for them to either be returned to the jail or to the court for their decision, or they had broken a number of smaller rules to the point where we thought, they aren't learning behavior change. They are just kind of doing what they want and continuing for us to catch them breaking these rules. So those people, those are two of the reasons that you could be removed from the program. And then we had one modification, which means they went back to court and basically petitioned the court to say, I feel like I've done well enough that you should let me go off the program early, and it was approved. So that person left us earlier than they were supposed to. The next chart, the one thing I pointed out about that chart that I found interesting was even though we had less eligibility screenings in 2022, we actually had more people participate in home detention and the residential work program than we had the year before. So even though we're screening less, I think the way we're looking at the screenings, the discussions that we're having and deciding placement for which level to start them in and things like that has actually led to a little more participation than there was in the past. So it's not in this report, but I did run some numbers for another purpose that actually showed our average for the year in the residential program was, I think it was 30.78 maybe, so 30 to 31 people on average is what we had out there. So next part of that, one of the things we looked for in evidence-based practices is how are we doing with motivating? And one of the ways we motivate is giving incentives. So they get passes, they get verbal praise, us just saying like, you're doing great with this, certificates, different things that they can earn. And research shows, depending on who you ask, that you should have at least a 4-to-1 ratio. So you should be trying to praise 4 times more than you're sanctioning. And our average for last year was 6 to 1. So we were doing better than that very minimum that they want. So another great thing we were looking at. And then I did put a summary of those 2022 data measures in this report as well. They're also attached as a separate document because of the way the format that the DOC wants it turned in. So one of our goals was to have for those pretrial services meetings to get the pretrial program set up. We held those meetings, think they're going well, and we're working out all of the processes for that program, how we want things done, the paperwork. And we had our initial certification meeting, and we were given a provisional certification on December 29th. That's good for 6 months. And sometime in that 6-month period, the folks from Indianapolis will come back and give us our full certification. And the initial certification went so well that we had a few sentences to fix on a few documents that they thought could be cleared up a little bit. And we've already done that. So really we're just collecting numbers for them when they come back in the next 6 months. Our second one was that our case managers were going to try to create case plans with new participants within 5 days of coming in. And what we wanted to do was get to a very high success rate with that, in my opinion. This was a goal that was made before I arrived. I was shocked by it when I came because a 5-day turnaround on a case plan is very short in the criminal justice world. That was a very lofty goal that somebody made. So we did our best to try to hit it. What we did was by the end, we were hitting 84% of people were getting their case plan within 5 days. So we were pretty happy with that. I also ran some numbers just to see the longest period of time, and 11 days was the longest that it took our case managers to get a case plan done, which is, once again, in our world, a very quick turnaround for a case plan. So we were happy with that outcome. And then our third one was collecting exit surveys from our participants, just asking them about their experience with us. And we were trying to get at least 85% return of those, and we got 94. So we're definitely using those, looking at the results to try to see what areas the participants think that we can improve on and whether those are realistic areas or not. Some of them are not realistic, but some of them are things that we think we probably could look at a little more and see if we can change that experience for them. So that is kind of a summary of the annual report and the 2022 measures that need turned in.
Okay, sounds good. Good news, good to hear. And I appreciate you coming in and give us a summary. It's a little easier to digest in ways, and a very good job. So you need approval of this report.
Yep, approval to send it in officially.
Okay, any questions or comments?
I'd just like to repeat a comment that was made by one of the judges at the advisory board meeting on Friday, was that the really top to bottom scrutiny and deep dive into the community corrections system that Michelle and Michael Lapham have done over the last year has resulted in some really huge positive changes out there. It's kudos to both of you for the work that you've done.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've really turned it around. Appreciate that.
Yeah. You talk about a 180. That's a 180.
It's a big deal.
A couple times over.
Good job.
Seems like, it was going nowhere. Now it's going places, and we appreciate it.
That being said, I will move that we approve the community corrections report.
Approved to send it, right?
Yeah.
Approved, yeah. I second that.
Motion second. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. You have your approval.
So then I just need approval for the 2023 performance measures. These are the goals that we plan to work on over this next year and be able to send in this time next year when we do the annual report. This one, they changed the format again. I know you guys are, if you've been around at all, you're not shocked by the DOC changing the format of things again. So this year, instead of having 3 goals overall for our department, they want 3 goals per what they call program level that they're funding. So we had to have 3 goals for what they term community supervision, which includes electronic monitoring, the classes we offer, and kind of everything before there was the residential work facility. And then they want 3 goals for the residential work facility. So I came up with those 3 goals. I don't know if you had a chance to read over them or if you want me to cover those as well.
Would you real quick? We've got some time.
So the community supervision goals that we're going to work on is we are going to work on completing a cognitive behavior or a skill building intervention. And that's more of our evidence-based things that we work on. So this is when our case managers, who are now probation officers, I'm going to work on that. I need to start calling them probation officers. When they meet with any of our participants, they do what we call either a cognitive behavior or a skill building focused on something that person needs to work on. So it could be time management skills. It could be something about substance abuse, anger management. It could be about family relationships. Just getting kind of a deep dive into how that person thinks and how their thinking has affected their behavior and therefore why they're with us in the criminal justice system. So our goal is that at least 80% of case management meetings, they're going to do one of these activities that targets a specific behavior. Our second goal for community supervision is we've created an incentives and sanctions committee. so that we can look at different ways of responding to behavior, either positively or negatively. And that it contains people from residential, as well as the probation officers and myself and the director of residential. And so we just have a goal that we'll get together once a month, and for a total of 12 meetings next year to look at different possibilities, things that we need to change. The third goal is that the pretrial services officers and myself are going to meet at least quarterly to come up with a pretrial services specific rule set for electronic monitoring. Right now, we use the same set that we use for post-supervision people, but the problem with that is there are rules and terms in there that don't apply to pretrial. So what we want to do is create a new pretrial document that is specific to them and then get it approved with the whole pretrial committee. And we plan to do that by having these meetings. So those are our 3 for community supervision. For residential services, our goals are that, once again, the probation officers are going to complete one of those cognitive, behavioral, or skill building interventions at least 80% of the time in their meetings. The second goal is that we're going to continue to collect those exit surveys, and we're going to try to hit a 95% collection on those. And then our third is that that incentives and sanctions committee is going to continue to meet and then focus a little more on incentives and sanctions we could use with just the residential population. So that we'll have some that are targeted more towards those serving their sentences electronic monitoring home detention, and some that are focused more on the residential because their experiences and their rules are obviously slightly different because of the structure of the program. So those will be the 3 rules that we're going to turn in for, or 3 goals that we're going to turn in for each of those sections of our program.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any questions or comments? Yes, we're good. Approval?
Need to make a motion to approve to send the 2023 goals, community corrections.
Did you make that motion?
That's the motion.
Okay, that's it. Second.
Motion and second. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries.
Perfect, thanks.
Thank you.
Real quickly, I just had one more question. I don't know if you got my email last week, but I did receive a call from the guy at High Tech Electric again.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything you needed me to do for that?
I don't know, he made a comment that he wasn't paid for rework, but the rework they did was due to bad installation to start with, so I don't know what he's expecting, but he needs Mosaic to pay him the 60, 70, 80, whatever he owes him. We paid Mosaic, so if they don't pay him, I don't know what to tell them.
Right, and I think, so they had sent us, actually I might have it in here, they had sent us a bill for coming back out to redo something, some parts that had burned up or something. And they had sent us this back in December 9th is what this paper says. And I think that's what he was calling about.
How much is that?
$1,443.57.
What was that for?
There were things called thermal units. I don't know what that is. I cannot answer a question about that had burned out in some of the lights. And we were calling about the fact that the lights were still not working. My understanding was the lights had not been working since they did the rework where they put the chains in to hang the lights more supported.
To be supported. Yeah. Right.
So they came out. I was under the understanding that they were coming out to do that work in order to make it work correctly. And then we received this bill charging us not only for the thermal unit parts, but also for the labor that it took them to come and do that work. I don't know where you stand on paying that or not paying it, but I think I brought it up when I came at some point in December about some other things, and was hoping that somebody who knew more about the original conversations with them could handle it. But then he did call me again the other day asking about this invoice being paid.
I think we could just call it even. I won't bill them for my hours spent out there correcting their bad work, and they can call it even.
I don't know if this is something that's not under their control, if thermal unit burning out off of warranty. I'm not, a little bit different, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Now, if it had been installed right to start with, and
Well, I'm not sure that has anything to do with the thermal units going bad. That's probably somebody across the ocean
I'm
is,
sure. Yeah, and
you know
That's
how that
probably-
goes.
It's probably a legitimate bill, I would say.
It wasn't under any warranty
Warranties
because of how
are,
old the building is currently?
it's past warranty.
Yeah,
to fill you in, the problem we had is they said the lights were installed properly. They were literally falling through the drywall. And I
Oh,
said,
my.
there's no way that can happen. They're supported by brackets.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we supported. So I said, no, you didn't.
Right.
I crawled up in the attic for almost 3 hours, pointing out all the lights. They were just sitting on the drywall. And so I'm a little mad at them.
That's not safe at all.
Oh,
No,
and we told them,
start-
and they even told us second time, no, they're installed properly. Don't worry about it. Well, that's where I have the problem.
Right.
But if it's a legitimate bill, we probably should pay it, I assume.
Yeah, that's the problem, I guess, if it's a
Even though
legitimate
that
bill.
I'm still
Yeah.
not happy with
Yeah.
how it was handled.
And it was the same company, or it was their
Same
general
company.
contractor? Okay.
Same company.
Same company.
the gentleman that calls from High Tech Electric said, and he says, I wasn't there, that the lights were working properly at one point in time, but people from the general contractor from Mosaic had applied insulation over the top of the lights, which caused them to get too hot and burned up these thermal units.
That's what I'm telling you. They weren't installed properly. Those, you can't have, they're not what they call IC lights or where you can pile insulation over them. They have to vent, and that's why they're burning out.
That's
That's
why-
why I say they weren't installed right. If they would have just read the instructions on how to install them.
Yeah, but it wasn't High Tech that did the insulation.
And we should pay them for this and go back to Mosaic.
Yeah, it would be Mosaic
To
should pay for
recuperate
that.
that.
Yeah, but Mosaic isn't
But
paying them to
getting
start
blood out of
with.
that turnip's going to be a real tricky proposition.
The problem is Mosaic isn't paying them either. I'm told by
Right.
High Tech that Mosaic hasn't dispersed their
Right,
funds.
right.
Now, maybe that's an internal dispute though, due to them not installing the lights right, so,
Mm-hmm.
Not even sure Mosaic is around.
really.
Maybe they went belly up without paying all their subs. I
Don't know.
I don't know.
It's a good possibility.
I don't know, yeah, like you said, if High Tech didn't throw the insulation on top of them, it's not their fault. I hate to criticize them for something they didn't do, but
Yeah.
again, if they'd been installed right to start with,
Yeah.
we might not have this issue. But that's a Mosaic problem, probably too, for not, general contractors responsible for his subs.
And we could say, well, High Tech, you need to go out to Mosaic for this money, because they were the general contractor to hire the
They were
installation
paid.
firm.
Yeah.
But there again, this could be a dead-end street. I don't know.
But I think the problem with saying you gotta go after Mosaic for it is the fact that we called them to fix the problem. So I think we have some liability when we call someone to fix something and don't pay them, so. To be fair, I think we ought to just pay them.
Okay,
There's a Mosaic Corporation, Pendleton Mills Court, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Motaz Al-Shahar is a registered agent, administratively dissolved, for what that's worth.
resolved.
Yeah, and it looks like that's the only Fort Wayne
When was it dissolved?
Mosaic. Well, I haven't been able to get to that yet. There's,
I wouldn't think they would have dissolved it that quick.
yeah,
And Mosaic, I think, was an Auburn corporation.
it was an Auburn one.
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know.
I bet you that's a different one.
Jake Fetters would have been one of the principals, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake.
All right, maybe there's two ways to spell Mosaic, so I'll keep checking.
I can't spell either of them, so it don't matter.
Do you know if ours is with an S or a Z?
See,
S.
Yeah.
Okay, I was looking it up under a Z.
Oh,
We'll see.
okay. Motion to pay?
I'd make a motion that we pay how much is it again? I'm sorry.
$1,443.57.
$1443.57 to High Tech to make us even with them.
A motion and second. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. Pay the gentleman.
Does Susan need a copy of this? I feel like she already has one, but.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. Good job.
Cheryl, You're in the hot seat.
Morning, Cheryl.
Did you turn that mic on? I think she turned it off.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm here today for two different contracts. The first one is for Vantage Point. This is the company that we contracted with for our COVID test site in Butler. So it's the same contract, basically, that we used in the past. What I wanted to do was, preparedness is huge work. And we don't take the preparedness grant right now. We haven't for quite a few years because they're very specific about what you can spend the money on. And as far as supplies and stuff, we have everything that we need. But you can use it for staffing. And what I would like to do is contract with Vantage Point to have someone do our preparedness grant deliverables, which that's what we try to do on the side, is keep us up with everybody else, only we don't take the money. But what I would do is go ahead and take the grant, pay them. They would do all the busy work. We would still be involved in like exercises. If there was an emergency where we had to do like another COVID clinic or something of that sort, I would have someone beside me that's able to help. I wouldn't have to muscle through that all on my own. It would keep us up to date. Right now, our plans they're outdated. And it's not as much as the directives in them are outdated, but like they need to be gone through and new staff needs put in. And this person would initiate all this stuff. See, we would still have to be involved to give them the information, but they could input all the information in the plans. It would just be a way to keep us up and involved. I would make sure that we would still be maintaining all those relationships, which are critical for us. I think it just makes sense. And there's the surrounding counties are doing the same thing. They're using that preparedness grant money, and it just unloads a huge portion of work. So that's what that contract is about. I don't know if you guys have any questions about that in particular.
Where does that money come from? Do you know? Fairness grant money? Is that state level?
It is. I'm sorry, I don't know. I get confused because some federal grants are dispersed by the state and the state babysits them, and that's what's happening.
It's not part of the governor's new health commission plan thing.
No.
Okay, just
No.
want to make sure it isn't coming from there, so.
No, this
Okay.
has been, it's been going on for years
Okay.
before me.
Good enough. Yeah, I just want to make sure we weren't going down that path.
No.
All right,
Not yet, anyway.
yeah.
Okay, you want to do that one? Get out of the way?
Yeah, I'd make a motion that we approve the submission of the preparedness grant, or bringing on exactly what's the term? We're bringing on someone to handle it for us, right?
It'll be a contractor.
Contract, yes.
They'll hire a person. And
There's my motion.
I should say, are you Dennis?
Oh, I'm Andrew Cruz. Dennis is my
Cruz.
uncle.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm Cheryl.
Yes, hi.
Nice to meet you. And I know that you are going to look at the contract
Okay.
to make sure. That's why I'm here. Mike had mentioned that we should make sure that they're approved. So that's it.
So let me rephrase that motion that we'll have Attorney Cruz review the contract.
think Zach sent that to you already, Andrew.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think Zach and I both reviewed it and said it was
It was
okay.
okay, yeah.
So,
We've
so I'm
approved
back to
that.
my motion again,
Yeah.
that,
Are you moving to allow them to do to apply
Yes.
for the grant and then
Yes.
hire the company that she's chosen?
there's my motion.
Okay.
Fourth commissioner's got it. Thank you.
All right.
I'll second that.
There's something of a motion and a second. Any other
Got it.
comments?
Okay,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. Okay, that one's out of the way.
Thank you. The next one, this is a contract with VaxCare. And I have to kind of give you a little background. At the health department, we have several different buckets of vaccine. The main program that we do is called VFC, and that is a state-funded and federally funded vaccine program. They provide vaccine for children that are on Medicaid or have no insurance. That is our main bucket of vaccine. We do have a little bit of vaccine that I order through grants. I pay for it through the grant, and then we give it away free. It's very limited. It's like Tdaps and Hep B, Hep A. That is a second type of vaccine. We've never had the ability to give private insurance patients vaccine. That would require a different bucket. And then there is Medicare, regular Medicare and Medicare Part D. We don't have vaccine for them. So what I've been trying to do is look into this company called VaxCare. There are several counties around us that are already using them. This company actually provides the vaccine to us free of charge. And then they have a hub that we would enter patient information plus their insurance information. And we could bill for the administration fee of the vaccine, which is different than the cost of the vaccine. And it would give us the opportunity to take care of these other people that we typically are not doing, or that we have not done since I've been here. Trying to get it all in order so it's easy to understand. The childhood vaccines that we give in the VFC program, this VaxCare would mirror that for private insurance children. So we would be able to do the same for any child that would come in that has insurance. The adult vaccines are, that's a little bit different. What they would have us do, when I spoke to them about this a couple times, they would have us start with a few of the very common ones, see how we do as far as making sure that they're used before they're expired. And then if there's demands for different vaccines that they can see or we can identify, then they'll expand the program, give us a couple more. They actually keep track of us. Their system will identify when we have a vaccine that's going to expire. They're going to absorb that cost. If we have a vaccine that we go to put a needle on and we accidentally break it or drop it, they don't cover that. And that's typical with vaccine. And that happens maybe 2-3 times a year. It's not a huge deal. We would expect something of that sort. let's see. The only cost to us is $20 a month for that little iPad that we can enter information on. And if we wanted to get a second one for our second room, it'd be $20 more. That is the only cost. See, there is a way that we can make sure the vaccine is covered, or we'll know how much it will be covered. Once the patient's information is put in and their insurance information is put in, we can scan the vaccine and it will show us immediately what coverage that patient has. And we can choose at that point whether we're going to trust them to pay, or what I would like to do, and which is what we have other counties doing, is have their credit card information already loaded into a system where if there is a balance that comes, we would charge them. Currently at the health department, we don't have any charging ability. I don't even know where to begin with that, but it would be something that I know can be done. I'll probably have to talk to Susan to try to figure out how we get that set up. So we would know, and we can actually tell them at the time, this vaccine's going to cost you so much money, and we will bill your card for the balance, or we can say, we're sorry, we're not able to give you the vaccine, so that we're not absorbing the cost of all this. See, I already told you that.
I do want to clarify that the VAX agreement is the one that I had read. I think the email with the health department contract for Vantage Point was one that got deleted by mistake off my email, so I'm reviewing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Talking, so.
Okay.
But the VaxCare agreement is, so there were two that we were going to review. The VaxCare is the one that I've already reviewed and Zach's reviewed, and the Vantage Point I'm looking at right now.
This opens up some options for us as far as people, plus it takes some heat off of you, correct?
Well, it's going to add to our load. I'll be honest about
Does
that.
add to the load then.
The reason we've looked at billing in the past, and the reason we did not do it is we would need space, we would need more staff. But this company's going to do all that billing for us once we enter their information. So it seemed like it seems good for us to do it. I do anticipate we're going to have more work, but it does increase our ability to help more people.
Expands your capabilities as far as serving the public.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's a good thing. This I was unaware of. The VaxCare person that we spoke to said that there is no deductible on vaccines, that insurance is supposed to pay for all of it. I think I had heard that years ago, but I was afraid to trust that. But he said, no, there's no deductible. So that should help people also. The other thing is we can cancel at any time with 30-day notice for them, and they could actually do the same thing to us. So it's not something that we can't get out of if something terrible would go. This is a national company. It's all over the place. They will also provide most of our flu vaccine, which typically I use grant money for some of it, and then you guys have allowed me to spend some out of our budget, but they'll take care of quite a bit of that. We still may have some, but not all of it. In regards to the Hep B, the employee Hep B vaccine, what I right now, you have allowed me to keep money in my 1159 fund, my health fund. And I have been purchasing that when we're running low. And it seems to me that I could go ahead and use this program for that, and I would just pay that administration fee out of that same account. So we could still do the Hep B, and I could still take care of it through my line items on my budget. The one that I had just a couple questions about it, and maybe you won't know the answer to this. So they reimburse us, I think it's each month, with the administration fees. My question is, would that go back into our 1159 fund, like back into that? Well, it couldn't go back into the account. I could stick it back into the account, but would it go back into the 1159 fund so that that is used for our health department, for our budgets and things of that sort each year?
Question for Susan, I think. That's a Susan question when she
Okay.
comes back, yeah.
Okay.
Way above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Okay. The one last thing I would like to mention is there are some people that have no insurance, which that's one of the reasons we spent a little bit of money in one of our grants to keep that TDAP, Hep B, and Hep A for those folks, because those can be pretty serious things. I would still want to do that, still by just small amounts. As long as we have it available, we would use it. But that would be coming out of our grants, so.
I think that's a problem.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea, rather than either turning those people away or turning them and making them do self-pays.
Especially those are things, if people have been exposed, that's pretty serious stuff. So, and I should say, if there is an outbreak in, let me think about this. If we get a patient that actually has Hep A or Hep B, we are required to provide for their close contacts, their family members or people that they work closely with. So that vaccine too, I would go ahead and take out of this VaxCare vaccine, and then I would pay them out of that vaccine account. I may have to up that a little bit just to make sure that I'm covered. I won't know until we get going. But I think that will cover everything that I could think of as far as this contract.
Okay.
Yes, yes. It would. Okay.
That's your answer.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And maybe it would help as far as if I did have to increase that vaccine account or whatever, I would be set. So,
Okay.
I'm good with this.
You good with that?
Yeah.
and then the other
Second
thing
is
would be
good with
the
that.
contract. What did he say?
He's seconding my good with that. I was gonna actually make a motion, but you've got more to say, so go ahead.
No, that's it. Because Andrew had already approved this contract, so
I'd make a motion that we enter what's the name of the company again?
VaxCare.
VaxCare agreement per Cheryl's recommendation.
Motion and second. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries.
Thank
You're all
you.
set.
Thank you for doing a great job, and we're getting your sewer fixed here shortly.
I
so.
am so excited. And
You're so easy to please. We fix a sewer and you're excited, so.
The funny thing was, I went down to the other office after I asked you if I could share.
Yeah.
I went down to the surveyor's office and in walks Bill. And I said, I was just telling everybody all the great news, so it worked out really good.
Great.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks,
That
Cheryl.
is huge, huge deal.
Oh, yeah, it needs done, so.
yeah.
So the one thing I guess I do need to check, is that other contract okay then?
It looked fine to me. It's, I mean, it could have been maybe just a little bit more specific, but it sounds like they're agreeing to do a grant to fund that contract.
Yes,
Yes.
the same, and that's what we did with that.
And it's just for the grant year. There's no automatic renewals. I like to watch for automatic renewals that happen if you don't cancel. So if you're comfortable with that kind of process and that grant money will cover it, then I approve.
Okay, all right, I think we're set then.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
You too.
Do I have to sign this?
No,
Oh,
You're
okay.
okay.
we know where to find you.
Fortunately, everybody does. Take care.
See you
Okay,
later. Thanks, Cheryl.
Mr. Parker. Morning. Come on up. Join the fun. We're good, we think. Yeah, we'll know more after we talk to you whether we're. That'll decide whether we're really good or really bad.
I just have one thing for you guys this morning. And that's for some signatures.
Oh, we can't do that.
I have the advertisement to bid for our community crossings grant project. This is on for the street paving package this year. Got the bid packet ready to go out. Got it set up for bid opening to be March 6th at 10 a.m. here. Actually, excuse me, let me reword that. They're due by 10 a.m., open at 10:30 here, Commissioners Court. This is a kind of a joint effort with the city of Auburn as well. We put a mandatory alternate bid in on this package. Auburn did revise it, was happy with the specifications. They did provide their own. Took it before the Board of Works last Tuesday, and they agreed to participate, so hopefully we'll make a nice project. So everything's ready to go. It'll be, like I said, advertisements will start this Friday. It'll be February 17th and 24th, and open on the 6th. So I did send this off to Andrew Cruz for review and got a response back that he was fine with the bid packet.
Thank you for doing that, Ben.
No problem. This is for all three commissioners to sign and for the auditor to attest. So if you guys don't mind, sign this and
Do we need a motion on this?
Yes.
should, yes.
Yep.
Motion to sign the advertisement to bid the 2023 road surfacing projects.
Motion and a second. Are there any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. We don't have a start date on that project particularly, do we?
Appreciation date is, I think it's like September 15th.
September 15th.
I believe. So don't hold me to 100%, but I think that's what we put in there. Start
Got
date will
any-
be after, it won't be till the asphalt plants open up. Really,
Right.
I really didn't put a start date in there. I try to leave some flexibility in there to help get some better bids on it
When do they open up usually? April?
typically. Sometimes the end of March, just depends on the weather,
They got to be above freezing for the most
right?
Yeah, it just sets up too fast.
part. A little warmer,
Yeah, they can't get it rolled down. It's too cold.
too cold.
I think that's the biggest problem, isn't it? Rolling it down at,
No, you can put it down when it's cold, but you don't want to put it on frozen ground by no
yeah,
means. But,
that's, yeah.
you know, it's a hot material, so I mean, the colder they start, the hotter, the more they got to run to keep the plant running, and And people really ain't buying it. So, I mean, you get a lot of waste, or you gotta keep it hot and keep turning it.
Those millings, we're gonna mill 35, those millings, have you got a location where we can store those yet?
Out of our new site somewhere, is the plan.
Not there somewhere.
I'm hoping just to put them out back somewhere, out of the way.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but I'd think straight back from the existing building maybe, but who knows? But we want to hang on to those millings. They come in handy.
Have you heard anything, I don't know how much you talked to the city about Morningstar Road, they're gonna widen it there. Do you know when they're gonna start? Have you had any conversation with them? They got the
Not as
trees
far as
cut
when they're
down.
gonna start, that whole project's a little bit up in the air. It's dependent on what we do with the bridge. The bridge is kind of up on discussion
That's-
again.
That's why I asked if how the
Right.
bridge tied into that.
Right, we looked at that 2 years ago for the city, and from 2 years ago till now, the prices of the bridges per square footage went astronomically high. I mean, more than doubled. So, that bridge was looking at $850 2 years ago, now we're looking at 1.6.
That high?
Yeah.
Well, and there's what, 6 or 7 years of useful life left of that bridge, possibly?
There's 10 to 12, so, right. So, I mean, there's a little bit of time that we'll lose on it by doing it early. Talking with the city, they was kind of hoping maybe we could do something around 2025 with that. I've got a firm looking into doing another analogy on that bridge and getting some recommendations, and I'm waiting to get that cost back to get started. So I'll be bringing that to you here in a couple of weeks probably.
Okay.
But they are interested in participating with that because they really don't want to continue the sidewalks from where they are and just stop at the bridge. They want to finish that corridor after the bridge was in, was my understanding of it.
Okay.
Would there be an additional analysis on that bridge closer to construction to determine the life left in it? Or are we good with what's been, with
I would
what?
probably do it while they are out doing their study now. I mean, they could kind of estimate it in a couple of years,
Right,
unless there's just something drastically takes off difference on it, so.
yeah.
But Zachary did start on Bridge 9 last week, starting demo and removal of that,
Good.
so that project's moving forward.
We've got some good weather.
Yeah, they have, they have.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will go smoothly. They're having a little bit of trouble getting rid of the box beams. The gentleman that was supposed to took them, backed out of it.
Really?
Didn't realize how much styrofoam was in them.
Yeah, no kidding.
There's a lot in there.
Wow.
So to go through and make that crushed stone would be a pretty big mess.
Yeah.
Styrofoam is being recycled now by Brightmark up at Ashley.
But you still
They're
got
doing a
separated.
deal with the solid waste district.
Yeah.
So I'm just giving that as an option.
You'd have to
If you need a
separate it
place
from
to-
the concrete. is
problem-
That'd be the problem, yeah.
That's the problem, is getting
Because it's
separated.
encased in concrete, so you
Yeah.
gotta break the concrete to get the styrofoam.
That'd be too hard to do probably then.
Yeah. Right, Mark, probably wouldn't like any little chunks of concrete in there.
Probably not for their deal.
That
That's
probably
right.
won't, that
Go out
probably
there and just
won't
dump it on
recycle.
their property, Ben, and so here you
I
are.
think I think there's
doesn't make-
rebar in that as well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not a matter of just pulling it out real easy.
Need a big crusher and separator, and what a mess.
Set it on fire, burn it off.
Yeah, it works. A little black smoke for a short
Little
time.
relax. Not highly recommended in today's world, of course, but,
Throw some tires in there, it'll go even faster.
yes.
So
Anything else, Ben?
got a pipe that went bad on us on 43.
Oh, yeah.
Road's closed temporarily. Probably gonna be replacing that pipe. Went down and walked it this morning. Water was down enough and the bottom's gone in the bottom of that pipe, so right there at 43 and 34. So Glenn will be back tomorrow. I wanna try to do some reshaping and movement of this pipe if we're gonna replace it, because it's not set up real ideal right now at that intersection. It's got the pipe's awful close to the intersection and guardrail, and it's just not a good situation. I want to try to move that and make it better since we're replacing it.
Big is it?
7'7" tall, 14'6" wide. Squash pipe.
It's one of those egg shape. If we could replace it with a round, if we can get it deep enough, we could save quite a bit of money and get it sooner. But the egg shaped one is gonna cost more, and we don't know what the lead time is on that, do we?
Now, I
The-
called
the-
St. Joe last week. She's got material and she can run me a pipe as soon as I give her a call. But if I have to have a squash pipe, they don't do squash pipe. I'll have to go through St. Regis or someone. And then delivery and time on that. If I gotta be careful because I wanted to cut that angle more in the road to get that away from that intersection more. But if I get that too much of that underneath the roadway, it will classify as a bridge. I don't want to do that, so.
The bridge.
No. So I might have to actually even buy some elbows on it. Because right now is what they did, I got some pictures of it, but they basically ran the pipe across the road. So the pipe's sticking across, they cut the top, and left the back part of it to catch the water, because basically the pipe's going this way, flow's going this way, and it hits the back of the pipe and then shoots. I want to try to turn that, but like I said, I can't get a whole bunch under the roadway or it'll be classified as a bridge.
How much cover do those have to have over the top?
Depends on the size of pipe, rating of the pipe I get, the thicker the gauge, the less the cover. So there's 4 foot on it right now, but if I went with a 10-foot pipe, we're gonna lose 2 feet of that. 2 foot would be all right, but I could run a 12 or 10 gauge pipe, be more than sufficient for that, should be. But the biggest thing will be if we'll work with the flow. That ditch runs a lot of water. So, but even with St. Joe, if we gotta buy some elbows, I don't think they do the elbows right now, that size.
Oh,
Because they're expensive because they're made, they're cut and they're made, they're welded.
yeah, yeah.
They're expensive to have made. Like I said, that road right there, because 34 ties into 43, and that pipe crosses right that intersection, guardrail on both sides is bottlenecked anyway. I'd like to get that pipe long enough, we can get that guardrail back, or even eliminate the guardrail on the southwest side, and still wrap it on the east side. And that would help eliminate that bottleneck right there. Because 43 is a narrow road anyway. 17, 18 foot wide. Ain't very wide. And that ditch is right there, just right off the edge of the road. Deep ditch. There's a guardrail down along it, but not the best guardrail, but there's guardrail there.
That's north of, it's north of 8, north of the 40, was it 43A?
48, it's north of 48.
40A,
Between 34 and 32.
okay.
I can tell you what structure it is. That is structure 182. So I sent all this stuff to Glenn. He's looking into it on his way home from UP. He said, give me something to do sitting in the shotgun seat over here. So I sent him all that. So hopefully he can kind of size it up. Went out there today and Mark went down there with his waders and we was checking it. I was going to try to get the road opened back up, but
No way.
I'm not going to. Because that's bad, 25 foot in, puts it right in the center of the roadway and the bottom's completely gone in it.
Wow.
And if we get another rain, I'm not gonna chance it. So we're gonna leave it closed.
Another reason, if we can go through on pipe, to go through on pipe, get it open back up. But
Right? It's more of an inconvenience. There's nothing between 32 and 34 there. There's nothing between there, just field.
okay, okay. Anything else? Anything for Ben? All right, Ben.
I'll have to have my signed copy back over there, though. Okay. You can't sign the initial for her?
Sure, you
Could, you could,
Got it, Andrew.
are you the first deputy? Or no?
No.
The first deputy might be able to if
If not,
Susan's out.
I probably got a day or so yet. We just want to get that back, get it loaded up in the file share as a signed copy for the people start requesting bids.
Susan what she's. Or as
Okay, let me
she
know.
can authorize,
To you, okay?
if Susan authorizes it, you could potentially sign your name and put your initials or something. Or just see if it's okay for Carla to sign as first deputy.
She said I'd prefer to do it tomorrow.
That'd be fine.
Okay. All right, thank you, Ben.
Thank you, guys. Need something, you know, I'll be, hopefully our truck will be back this week. If it is,
That's
I'll
what
let
I
you know.
heard. Good. That happens. All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a good one.
Okay. We are on to discussion and action items.
Can I say something really quickly? So
Yes.
on the high-tech invoice that you guys were talking about, and that was going to be paid for from Lighted, she said, number 24? Where would that money be paid from out of?
Rob.
And then actually, no, I'm sorry. It's the DCCC bill from high-tech, or not from high-tech. It's the DCC bill that Michelle Fosno brought in, that $1,400 bill. Is that going to be paid from Lighted?
That's administrative funds. Hey, isn't there?
Because that's a general repair, I think.
Yeah.
62, probably.
Yeah, I would agree. 62 is where it should be paid from. Yep.
Okay.
Bit of a difference there between 13,000.
Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, let's jump over and clean up the minutes.
Motion to approve minutes?
Motion and second, to approve minutes. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Travel,
Move to approve travel.
open mileage.
And in Purdue all over the nation, aren't we?
Oh, yes. Well, we're hard up, you know, they can't afford.
Second. Second.
Okay, motion is second. Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. ML. Okay. County home report.
I'll move to acknowledge receipt of the Sunny Meadows report.
And I'll second that.
A motion and a second. Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. Speaking of Sunny Meadows, we've got a new water heater. It went in last Tuesday. We were given a preliminary quote of $3,500 for the water heater and up to maybe $1,500 for installation, a max of $5,000. Got the invoice. I was out and looked at it the other day and got the opened the invoice when I was there, and it was $3,500, and that included everything.
Wow.
So they
Burn heating.
donated, that was Auburn Heating and Air Conditioning, donated the labor to install that water heater. It's working fine, working great. And so we're all set.
Good.
Nice looking unit, nice job installation. Couldn't have done a better job myself, so.
Like good news like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And just a little reminder, that started out at 10 or 11,000,
7,000, yeah,
so.
Shaved 1/3 of the, or
2/3.
less than 1/3 of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original cost.
A little bit of legwork involved, but,
Sure.
you know, it paid off. It's nice when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got 5 minutes. public defender on, or you want to, this is the public defender? You get a chance to look at the public defender report.
In my email, I'd make a motion to acknowledge receipt of this report.
Second?
A motion is second. Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. Need a signature on that?
I didn't see a signature spot anywhere on the report. You could probably just sign the back of it if you wanted or something.
I'll just sign the back.
I always do on financial. Sign and date.
All right. Okay. What you got? Okay, that's on our paperwork.
Yeah. I read it. That was in our email, and there's a lot of information, but I assume it's correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
you just need a motion for signatures, right?
right.
I'd make a motion that we sign the 2022 receipts and expenditures.
No, I didn't check the math. I'll second.
There's only 3 million missing.
It'll take you a couple hours, what's the problem?
3 million's a rounding error, though, so.
That's right.
Okay, we have a motion
Right, Attorney
and a
Cruz?
second. Any additional comments?
Maybe for Congress.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. The council also.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was a lot of numbers there, but I have to assume they're right. I mean, without doing a forensic audit of everything that happens.
Okay.
One spot to sign on this or not?
One for
This one?
us.
Okay.
Yeah, let's wait. I got some items, a few items anyway. I did cover one here. Goodness. Let's take a break for a pledge.
We can do that. It would be your turn, Bill.
You are right. Okay.
Felt bad that he didn't get back.
All right. Okay, we are back off of our break. And on with the miscellaneous topics, action, discussion. That was in the email.
Didn't we already make a motion to enter that agreement? This is for the trails they want to do around there and such?
Yeah, this is,
No, I thought just a week or two ago we talked about this and approved it. Maybe I'm wrong?
yes.
Okay, maybe you did.
Yeah, you want to,
Yeah, just glance. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm good with that.
I remember talking about it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion, we sign the cooperative agreement with the Spencerville Association.
I will second that.
Okay, motion second. Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries.
Send the PTO time Sheriff's Office request to council for their consideration.
Okay, motion second. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion carries. Yes. Your signature on that or just? That's what I was thinking, yeah. You gonna do that presentation tomorrow? Okay.
What all we gonna present?
Just to pay out that PTO for those two officers, right?
Pay them out.
Yeah.
Extra time.
For the two sheriffs,
Whatever.
deputies.
Carry over the 10 days and pay them out for the
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah. Not the whole, yeah, just carried the 10 days over. Okay, anything else, Jody? Gentlemen, any miscellaneous complaints, topics, discussion?
Just I attended Veterans Court, and I think Bill attended too, and I found it to be very refreshing to see judges interact with. I thought Kurt Grimm did a great job interacting. He even gave one of the gentlemen a hug there, and I thought that was very nice. And I just think the problem-solving courts are doing a good job, and just want to give a little shout-out to them for that.
Yeah.
Been to a couple of those graduations. They're pretty neat.
Yep,
So I would agree with that.
Okay,
good thing.
Mike, anything?
Well, 3 days at the State House last week, so some interesting things. Your speed limit bill is past third reading on the House, and it's over on the Senate side right now with two sponsors. So I think that's got some legs. LTAP was initially had some reservations about it, but I talked with them, and we're okay with that.
Good deal.
Yeah. The Health Commission legislation was probably the biggest topic of conversation down there. That legislation looks substantially different than what came out of the commission.
Is that, I wondered about that.
There were a lot of concerns from the county levels all the way up and down the state about what that looked like. So a group of us had some time with the governor talking about that, and some conversation with the lieutenant governor. I have, and it's changed enough now that the County Commissioners Association is supporting the legislation as it looks now, because they've taken basically all the mandates out, and everything is going to be decided at a local level, what that money is spent for, what programs we put in place, or don't put in place. Everybody starts out of the program. You have to opt in. So there's no requirement there. If you don't opt in, our funding that we get now isn't jeopardized at all. If we do opt in, the funding side of that bill is still under some discussion. Which is a House bill, but the Senate bill, which actually has the legislation in, is getting closer. But if we, as it currently stands, if we opt in, it's another $1.1 million for DeKalb County Health Department that could be used for staffing, adding staff. There. So anyway, point is that there won't be any jamming programs down your throat if you opt in, where you have to do this, you have to do that. Everything is based on what the needs of each particular county are. You can't take what Hamilton County needs and shoehorn it into DeKalb County. It just doesn't work. Fortunately,
I got it. Doesn't help around blood.
ghosts in the sound system, yeah. Oh, you're good.